The building we're standing in is Rayette Lofts. Rayette Lofts has had an interesting life. The different iterations of uses in this building are really representative of the evolution of the American reality. The building opened in 1911. It operated as a manufacturing facility and a warehouse until the 1970s. It was during this era of the building's life that the Rayette companies, the building's namesake, helped to introduce the Perm and Aquanet hairspray to the world. The building was converted to offices in 1980. It was home to Control Data Corporation, a small business center whose model called for startup businesses to locate in the building and share computer and technology resources. In 1997, after a decade of low occupancy in the building, it was gutted and converted to a parking garage. It operated as parking until July 2013, when Sherman Associates commenced construction on Rayette Lofts. Recognizing the history of this building has been key to ensuring a bright future for it. The historic significance of this structure allowed us to utilize historic tax credits as a rehab source. Through this program, we have restored the historic beauty of the building and effectively blended in modern amenities demanded by modern residents. Several other factors were key in allowing this rehabilitation to occur. These include a favorable lending environment, increased demand for downtown market rate rental housing, and critical investment in local infrastructure. Rayette Lofts builds on previous successes in Lowertown and will contribute to continued economic growth and cultural growth in the area. Here with us this evening is Mayor Chris Coleman to discuss his vision for Lowertown and the city's role in development. Mayor Chris Coleman has been a vocal advocate for downtown development. We appreciate your support and your attendance here today. He's championed the St. Paul Saints Ballpark, the Green Line, and Union Depot. All of these are key to making this project a reality and ongoing growth in Lowertown.
Well, thanks everyone. Kind of funny you're all over there, and so I'll just look here. That's a beautiful fitness room over there, I see. It's really great to be here, and this has been a series of really wonderful grand openings in the city of St. Paul on so many different levels, going back to the depot opening, to some of the new housing that's gone on, obviously the light rail line, the green line, how important that grand opening was. Not just that we opened the line, but the incredible success that we've seen with the line and all of these other projects. And every time we open it, we just prove the market a little bit further. And every time we open it, people continue to go, wow, what's really happening in St. Paul? It's real, it is sustainable, it is fundamentally altering how people view St. Paul, how they interact with it. And it's been a long process. It's been a long time coming. My predecessor on the city council, actually no, he was my predecessor, I was his predecessor on the city council. I don't know, somewhere in between there, Dave Thune, carried the vision for a renewed downtown, understanding the importance of the artist community, understanding the importance of historic preservation. I was able to pick up that ball as I represented Ward 2 and continue to push on getting some of these projects done. At that time, the big project was the Great Northern Warehouse. And I remember kind of tackling that project and realizing how hard that was going to be to get back online. But I just said, we've got to make sure that this building isn't just sitting there empty. It can't just be a house for pigeons. If downtown St. Paul is going to be vital, if it is going to be revitalized, then we've got to make sure that these spaces are used to their maximum opportunity. That we, if we can't sell hair products, I didn't know that we had home permanent. What was it? Aquanet hairspray. Well, there you go. I could use that sometimes. But the fact of the matter is there was always one building that, quite frankly, just ticked me off just a little bit. And it was every time I came down here and I saw the vitality of the farmers market, when I saw all the other things that were happening with Barrio and Bulldog, with the restaurants that were opening up, with the Green Line coming online, with knowing that we were going to be moving forward with the St. Paul Saints, the regional ballpark, all of these other things that were happening that were so exciting. And I would look at this building and I would see windowless windows, and I would see cars parked in here. And I said at the time that I became mayor that the true symbol of whether St. Paul is back and whether St. Paul is moving forward and whether St. Paul is real and whether the vitality of downtown is real is when this building is converted into housing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. This is what we have. So to all the partners that have made it happen, these projects don't happen on their own. They don't happen because they're easy, but they happen because people share a passion for converting these beautiful old spaces. People have a passion for the city of St. Paul, the St. Paul city staff that works so hard, so diligently, all the people that put the funding pieces together. I just want to say thank you. What we cut a ribbon on here today is truly the future of the city of St. Paul. St. Paul is back. We are stronger than ever, and we're just going to continue to get better. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Michael Bjornberg. Michael is board chair at Preservation Alliance of Minnesota, and he's an architect. Pam's participation in the project was key to structuring the state historic tax credits. Michael will discuss the importance of historic preservations and Pam's role in the project.
Unlike Chris, I hadn't seen this building before. I've been focused in Lowertown, but it's just great to see a building go from parking to housing and to see all the people here. As board chair of Preservation Alliance of Minnesota, I'm really proud that we were able to help make this happen and help other projects happen. We not only focus on preservation projects in Minnesota, we're looking into other areas, Wisconsin, Iowa, anywhere we can help that. We look at scale of projects from small to large. Fundamentally, we believe in leading and inspiring people to connect with historic places. This is one of those historic places. We also help the homeowner. How do you fix your windows and what do you do? So preservation is kind of our bottom line of helping people connect. We spent 11 years advocating for the passage of the state historic tax credit. And I think if you talk to Sherman representatives, you'll find this project would not have happened without the tax credits. So this project is a prime example of how important they are. So when you hear that come up at the legislature, support it, please. It's key, it's fundamental for making buildings like this function. So we're thrilled to have partnered with Sherman Associates, and we hope to do more of this and help to contribute to the vitality not only of Lowertown, but St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and places afar. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Our next speaker is Councilmember Dave Thune. He represents St. Paul's Ward 2. Under Councilmember Thune's leadership, Ward 2 has seen significant investment and growth. Rayette Lofts, as well as a number of other recent Sherman Associates projects, are located in Dave Thune's ward. We appreciate your commitment to redevelopment.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun sharing a ward with Chris. Yeah, we both had a bit to do with it. But I remembered, as I was coming over here way back in, I think it was 1968. I was in architecture school, and we'd take our field trip to come down to the Twin Cities, the big city, and we marveled because we were young historic preservationists at how incredible St. Paul was because nobody had ever done anything to it, and all of the buildings were still there. And that was the continuing problem, of course, that nobody ever did anything to anything. And over the years, we've had long debates over when the golden years were. Was it hockey? Was it whatever? And sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees. Honest to God, I think there's more preservation, and not just preservation, but revitalization that's gone on during this administration, and I really mean that, than any other one I've been involved with, and that's been many years. So I think the city's willingness to take risks and having great staff that are oblivious to problems has, well, I did mean to pause between oblivious and problems. But they're hardworking, creative, and they do not let projects die. It's just, and now we're seeing it. But of course, none of that would happen without the private sector and people that are willing to take risks, like George Sherman. It's just, we owe so much to people who are willing to put not just their heart and soul, but their, probably mortgaged his house to do this building. It's that kind of a partnership that we built up in the city of St. Paul, and we're very proud of it. And like Chris said, we are now seeing the fruits of our labors. So thank you, everybody that had a part in this whole thing, and especially thanks to Sherman Associates. Thanks.
Our final speaker this evening is George Sherman. George has over 35 years of experience in the development world. Without his leadership and investment, we wouldn't be here this evening.
I often say the reason you do ribbon cuttings and grand openings is to thank the hundreds of people that it takes to make a project happen, and that is certainly apparent tonight here with all the support we've had from the city and the banking and the preservation community. This building was a challenge. The reason it sat empty for about 15, 20 years was because of both the environmental issues that impacted it, the lead base, the paint, the asbestos, and the fact that a developer somewhere along the way decided to gut out the inside of it and make it a parking ramp and cut out the structure of it so he could put in ramp between different floors. It had significant economic challenges. The reason we're here today and celebrating its grand opening is for a number of reasons. Clearly, as the mayor said, St. Paul is a happening town. It is. This particular location, Lowertown, was designated, I think, about 6 months ago as the hipster capital of the U.S. Now, we were trying to figure out if that's positive or negative, but yeah, I think based upon the activity out in the street, the people that are moving into the buildings, it's a positive. This is one of the most energetic communities, energetic neighborhoods in the whole United States, as is the town. We would not have been undertaking this project without the commitment of the city to, with their investment in St. Paul. The light rail, the Green Line, the St. Paul Saints Stadium, the Union Depot have all made this a vibrant place that people want to live. You don't build buildings and dream that people will come. You have to build them and know that they will come, and we had that confidence in the city of St. Paul. It also took a significant effort on with the team to make this to get this historic preservation and to maintain lobby for the historic credits in St. Paul for the state. So many wonderful buildings have gotten renovated over the last 4 years with that credit, and I would tell you that this building would not have been able to overcome its economic challenges without the state historic credit. We want to thank Pam for their lobbying for that and the investors in that credit. It is really unique. We have one of the best state historic credits in the whole country. And it's one of the reasons that you're seeing so much renovation going on. So we need to thank a number of people for making the financing of this happen. Associated Bank provided the primary debt on this property and took the leap of faith that we would make this into a wonderful place to live. Associated Bank has been well known in downtown St. Paul for years. They are a strong community bank throughout Minnesota and St. Paul, and their investment in this community is phenomenal, and in this building it was critical. The federal historic credits were purchased by a Nationwide Life Insurance Company. They are a major investor in federal historic credits and have worked with us on a number of projects. They're a phenomenal partner. The state credits were bought by a bank called Commerce Bank. They're out of Missouri, but they are one of the biggest credit buyers of credits in the state of Minnesota. And Pam, who helped organize that structure. We also have a phenomenal partner here, the National Historic Trust. If a lot of these names seem like they're related to historic, it's because 40% of the financing of this project was made possible by the use of historic tax credits. So we need to thank all of the lenders to put together the $18–20 million that made this project a reality. This project is going to go from a project that was basically empty, generating almost no economic return to the city, to one that next year will probably generate over $150,000 of property taxes, new sales taxes from the restaurant that will open up, and home to 88 new people who are all paying market rate rents and are going to be using all the other amenities around the neighborhood. We'd like to thank the contractor, Anderson Companies. They've done a phenomenal job. This building every day was a challenge. All I can tell you is why I have a lot of respect for environmental engineers. I think environmental inspectors and weathermen get paid to be inaccurate. And it's one of the best industries that you can have out there. They can tell you exactly what won't happen. And so what we thought was going to be about a $300,000 to $400,000 environmental cleanup of this building ran about $1.2 million. And it just went, every day was a new challenge with that. But our contractor stuck with it along with our team, and we overcame phenomenal challenges. We had a phenomenal architect cast, Wilson Architects. They are involved in a number of St. Paul projects and are just wonderful to work with. So again, we need to thank our banks, Associated Bank, Central State Bank of Iowa, the National Historic Trust, Nationwide Life Insurance, Commerce Bank, and the Preservation Alliance. I also want to thank Metropolitan Council. Guy is here, and the Met Council helped with some of the environmental cleanups. They've been so instrumental in helping overcome environmental challenges in St. Paul and Minneapolis on these brownfield sites. The National Park Service, who really enjoyed this building. This was one of their favorite, along with the state of Minnesota's historic preservation. It took a lot of partners. And I want to thank all of them, our staff, who spent hundreds of hours on this, and it made it, it's tremendously satisfying to walk through and see what this building looks like today compared to what it looked like 3 years ago. I agree with the mayor. It was an eyesore. It's beautiful today. I want to thank everybody, and I want to particularly thank the city of St. Paul for being the most vibrant town in the U.S. to live in. Thank you, Mayor.